Today, we want calling a table waiting Salon police call Operation Restore Back to Order. Yes, and so Salon police say. I believe say if you don't go salon or people them with a salon, we can always say you see transporter to forget, then get it in and call two-way, three-way. For example, the one way we go take note of, now the one them way they come out Waterloo for go inside Freetown. You will come out Waterloo go inside Freetown. The rush hour for return back go Waterloo. If you not take them, you go take half. Say maybe you go pay maybe 5 different stops them before you go reach now your final destination, or at least 3 different stops them before you go reach. Well, Salon police say they ready for put them foot down. But not to say they were ignorant to waiting they go on. Not to say they not be know. Not to say they not be aware. Because outside them drivers then they go drop them passengers then police kindedi. The drivers union representative then kindedi. But however, this is the one part is suffering them where people them where they take transport can get for go through in the hands of drivers them. So today, oh say na the one way they can't say now, oh government. No. This is not the one way we Sierra Leonean they inflict on we company them. Now one for can talk about. But we get the law enforcement. We now we go say kudos, but however, this not be supposed for even happen. But you know, waiting, just hold on. We can dig deep. Make we go through the COVID-19 status update for today. 388 tests now in the lab they analyze. 388 tests now in the lab they analyze. Out of that 388 day, 2 turn out for be positive. 2 turn out for be positive. And then 2 now from Western area urban. Western area urban. Now then 2 positive cases here come out. Make we look the rest of the numbers then. The cumulative confirmed positive case number now don't reach 2003. 2003 people now they don't test positive inside Sierra Leone. For the past 24 hours, nobody no die of COVID-19. So the number still stand at 69. The active case within our isolation center them now 357. 357. The cumulative recoveries. But first, make we give for the past 24 hours, 8 people beat COVID-19 na salon. 8 people beat COVID-19 na salon. And so now the cumulative number do reach 1,577. 1,577. The one that mode in quarantine, 382. It's good because we don't come down. We hope say we don't below 400. We wait for make we go below 300 because you know say the less people in quarantine and with the amount of test where the lab then they conduct now, because look today at 388, the amount of tests then they conduct very high, and when they get low numbers of positive case, but however, the number of people already in quarantine, we wish say then go to decline more and more. So for now, we get 382. The one that more on discharge from quarantine are 10,628. 10,628. And the one that they don't discharge from quarantine. Waiting again, the government for do social distance, face mask. We can watch video, and this was done not too long ago. Not too long ago. But today, I want to make we take within we one calendar table in 3 different approach. The passengers them, how then they suffer, forget transport. Waiting the drivers union tell we, the allegations them way the drivers union make, and waiting police want me and you for know concerning this particular operation, then the latest police updates we then give I think a day or two ago, we police give about people them way then say they wear the uniform them. But we go pay more attention to we people them. Yesterday we do the Afro barometer. And if people, they complain, if people, they say, live in condition, in Mona, then this is not just one of them. And this one, now we, the Sierra Leoneans, them. Now we safe. They put Tampa, we safe. You don't get opportunity, you don't see the passengers, them, where then they strain for take transport. You hear from the side of the driver, you hear from the side of the drivers union representative waiting at the ground, you hear from the side of the different passengers them, how much it be done, they cost them. You also hear from the drivers union, drivers union president. You hear what he say, now then gets arrangements with police for make them reduce the traffic police officers them. And now when they don't make traffic police officers then pull 300 come out. With the accident rate within a salon, you think say that was the right move? But the president for drivers union in the talk like say it's a good thing on their part. Like say now they lobby for that. However, the media person for Sierra Leone police, in they say, no, them feel say them pull them people in there for come, make them learn other things them inside policing. But they not replace them back. Now, if you pull come out, say they not go get 800 police officers in our street, so then pull them come out, make they learn other areas them, which is fine. But with waiting with a see per accident, you think say that was the right move. And also, with the drivers union president, they say the traffic warden then they check pass mark. We don't try to forget the traffic warden they own side, but then look they play hard to get first. But when they talk, we go still make, just to follow the page, you go here waiting then talk there. Because now according to waiting Alvaba, Intel, the camera. But make a call with Usman Toli, make we here waiting in get for today on program. Yes, Usman Toli, you get the platform, sir.
Okay, thank you very much, Triple A, for having me. And also, I would thank Sarah Network reporter, when I believe Landina Ashatu Smile to say, and I give you this report. And the report will listen to so, and call them Operation Restore Order, when a joint operation between the security personnel, them, the drivers' union, and all the transportation stakeholders, them. I believe that. Yesterday, we talked about the Afro Barometer. And one important question we AAA asks, this program here, when I talk to the camera, if it's similar to that Afro Barometer. And I replied to you yesterday, say, it's very, very similar. And I tell you what, I wish we authority then get the chance for show this na the mainstream media, so that because it get a lot of things them where both the authorities them, with the citizens them will learn from this. And you're not too far from other studies them, such as the Afro Barometer, the Syria poll. You talk about Transparency International, and so many other surveys that we didn't do around. Because basically, all these studies here, when we go around for listening to people and perception, what think people and think about the service or product, basically. And for most of the time, it will give you a true reflection of what they happen at the ground. So, then kind of study here, it's fine for like we authorities them, they go to listen them. Because it help in terms of policy making, it help, it inform the government about how for plan, how for make them policies then. So this program is very good. It's very, very good at AAA. And let's jump now to the main operation Restore Order, what thing me listen to, basically. Well, first of all, let me understand, as you not only listen to the people, the cause of all this, what thing they cause all them here? You know, the drivers then left people halfway, take people halfway, overload, you know, they don't care about safety checks and all that. What do you feel say now you're responsible for all this? Well, clearly, me one of the things the way me go say, this boku traffic na Freetown, this overloading, is because there is no planning. Planning not been there. Better planning not been there. And when you need a plan, don't forget, as time they go on, now so more they adapt the planning. But to be honest with you, since the days before the independence, some of them rode there on this, so for a very long time, no expansion, no nothing. So consequently, it don't cause a lot of congestion at the city. Yeah? And when you listen, there was one program where I think say you bring this your program here, where what in the Office of Infrastructure talk. Remember, then say that they try can install traffic lights in the country, and they try for construct overhead bridges then for the pedestrian, then for cross, then they try for install street lights then. That program they do on. That program already do on, because they not say now some of the causes then this where they lead to this congestion, you know, the drivers and they rip the people off, you know, and some of the concerns them where the Office of Infrastructure, the highlight was that then say one are safety measures. Yeah, safety measures, because when they happen, you know, there are a lot of consequences them in terms of safety, in terms of mobility. The final says in Freetown, I don't say a good number of how they go Freetown, they see how the traffic, especially between Central and the East, where traffic they block another place. So it affects mobility, where it get impact on people and movement, and also the impact on the economy, because the economy is also about time. So it also get mobility issues. It get about health and safety issues. So clearly, for taking back to what in the video say, we're listening clearly to the people. And one of the issues where I highlight is that the drivers themselves, they know they help the situation. They're very unpatriotic in the sense that all they care about is themselves, how to make quick money at the expense of the people. So it's not only about planning, it's also about unpatriotism, the behavior of the drivers then. It will also contribute to poverty because in country how they so, where you need a taxi, you need a transport, you can easily sit down and also call for a car, you carry go, so one carry go. But in Freetown, because of the economic conditions in the country, it's very difficult for let somebody do that. So the best thing you can do for try for minimize what you get. I mean, if you try for save as much as possible, especially in terms of transportation. So poverty is another factor where it contributes to all the problems here with this issue. Notwithstanding, we get a lot of challenges. And the challenges, to be honest with you, it come out from both the people themselves, the drivers, because when you talk about the drivers, now people are way hardly comply, compliance. Again, we go back to the issue of compliance. They know they comply. And the authorities, them, as we are listening to one of the passengers, he say he hopes this to continue. Because when it comes to enforcement and implementation, then go start them for a while. But I bet you, wait after 2 weeks. If you go see again any of those police or security personnel in the street, probably will argue, say, they know what I work them for do. As you listen to the head of the media, they make it quite clear. Say, we get so many other things them for do. But again, with the citizens them, with the drivers them, why go comply? I know things are hard, but we all owe the country some form of patriotism, I know things are hard, but things like that, they don't put a law, you get for try to comply. Not to all 10 they won't tell you, And one of the issues where we see clearly from that video as well, in terms of compliance, look at his face mask. Look at the face mask. How many of those people, when they're in another public place, knowing very well that we get COVID-19 in our midst, still they go without mask. And as a twist, Smiles to say, when the reporter, he get to encourage them to wear a mask. So that tells you clearly that we get a big problem with the issue of compliance. People themselves not to comply. And not all 10 for the run after you, very well for your own health. You say pass, then they run after you for do something. So those are some of the issues then, where some of the challenges then, to be specific, in terms of the joint operation where the drivers, the office, the security personnel, then they make in terms of transportation of Freetown. Well, what are the solutions then? What are the solutions where I feel say important? One, clearly you listen to the president of the drivers union, when Alpha Amadou Ba. He said if we get 400, he said the government don't order 400 buses then. Yeah? I think say one of the problems then where also I think say important for highlight is the lack of public transportation. Because all what Indian drivers here they do, remember the drivers then are private people then all they care about how to maximize, how to make money, basically. But if we get public transport where available, well-structured public transport, where are readily available for take people from point A to point B, I think say it minimize some of them issues here what they see. Because if a driver no say there are a lot of public transport around, you feel say it will go overcharge people then. You feel say it will keep a motor car unsafe, knowing very well that, the passengers then get choice and get an alternative. And obviously then go do that. I think say the overall responsibility is squarely in the hands of the government. Firstly, in terms of planning. Yeah, in terms of planning. This is why we congratulate and we welcome the idea where the Office of Infrastructure can tell we say, then they can install new traffic lights, where we make the movement of lorries and cars very easy in the country, because traffic lights, again, they affect mobility. The construction of overhead bridges them, usai pedestrians in the cross, we no will go cost usai motorcar in the past. Then again, it will help with the issue of safety and mobility. And the street lights then also will help in terms of safety. Yeah? So, Naimeka Toxi, the responsibility it lies squarely in the hands of the government. So if this 400 bus system, where then they talk about, and we don't hear this before. So we hope the government, they try for bring these buses in action, where it will help for minimize these issues then, where we talk about. Yeah? And public transport is important. We don't see in most other countries, not only in Europe or America, or, we don't see even in African countries. Big places like Ivory Coast. Yeah? Some of these challenges then they get challenges then. But because of the presence of so much public transport, where it's capable for take people and passenger from point A to point B, yeah, we're in order for queue for a very long time, where the private cost of transport is cut down to half. I think most of these issues will disappear. But again, they therefore complement them with the planning process, where I feel say you're already on the floor. But again, we go back to the issue of implementation. We know the government don't talk and I think the government don't launch the idea. I think they talk about a pilot scheme. Then they talk about, for start the process, I think somehow, next year. So we hope that the implementation will come. But it's very important. So I will stop here. I'll give a chance to other callers. Although I also disagree some of the points them where the drivers union raised. The responsibility rests squarely also with the security personnel. Enforcement authority like the traffic warden. I think they do a good job. The traffic warden, they do a good job. Because Sierra Leoneans, most people are not like for comply. But I think the kind of fines that when they find it so, I think that will make them think twice. So I disagree with the president of the drivers union. And also,
before you go, don't feel say now this rift between this president and SLRSA make it look they really point finger at them, because they've been doing that forever and nobody talk. Remember the last time where they say they don't want and then for pull and then call out somebody interim way, even SLISA, and then go suggest for somebody else for Candy. Say because anti-corruption, they investigate Alphaba. So maybe they feel saying that maybe now out of that, now I make you say is so the chance for pick by SLISA desk, the camera don't contact them. We still wait on them for answer the call. For me, we are waiting all the talk about them because me feels you guys a little bit of something they be in there. I don't know what you think.
Well, first of all, I don't know if you said they follow the story, because at some point we know say he was under suspension.
Yes.
I was surprised that he was here.
Exactly.
I was surprised he was here because he was under suspension. I mean, don't bring somebody in place. And we know say SLRA they refused for deal with them anymore. They may not send a press release where they talk say they're not going to deal with her anymore. As long as Ndidi as president, I think they suspend at some point. So I'm really surprised we are seeing, to be honest with you, because don't forget when you bring this program, then saying a man we involved in fraudulent activity, we be print some of the forms them we be sell them to the drivers them unknowingly to SLRA. So I don't know if he try for impress, but to be honest, I don't know much about integrity. First of all, I manage come back because we don't follow the story. Whether some investigation has been done, then feel say, I don't know whether
I feel say that man is unshakable in that office. Not for the first thing, not for the second thing, this. But I so think it happened, then before you make, he's there again in the office.
Yeah, because we expect another press release, but don't come for explain to me.
Yes.
What are the findings?
I think I will take note, I will make, maybe I make SLISC look the dodge the camera, but I will make that be a note. So whoever get for talk on behalf of SLISC, maybe he able to tell you something about that.
Okay, that would be interesting.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Usman Tony.
Thank you. Yeah.
If you don't follow, waiting don't they happen, now the Drivers Association, you will not say Alpha Amaduba, na that office, not the first time. I elect them to go to it end up back inside the office. Make a call with us friend. Make we waiting he gets for it today. Yes, us friend, you get the platform, sir.
Thank you very much, Tripoli. And thanks to previous analyst, Usman Toli. And welcome to all viewers and listeners. So, what we just observe inside this operation restore order, there are different issues. And the first side, now the communication, in terms of good communication between all the parties there, in terms of the relationship between them, the relationship between the drivers, relationship between the police, drivers union, and then also even the passengers. You see, now actually 3 different bodies that we talk about here, but you look another aspect in wherein now the one that now where they try to can implement the law, then they can then oversee. But I don't know if they consult all the bodies that we concern so that we're able to look outside now the areas then where we're able to rectify. But then just the type of say first of all then come with this decision for them to rectify this issue of people and for pay and people and for crowd now vehicles and drivers for they just do halfway where they cost a lot to the passengers then. All right, that's a very good idea. But when you look at the driver union your side, what do they try to emphasize now from your interview? They talk first of all about the safety of the vehicle and the MOT. You emphasize on that one that I call sometimes the reduction of them. And then you try to say, well, they're not for so strict. Well, we emphasize on that strictness. Who doesn't do for that strictness? Now, Sierra Leone Road Transport, the SLRA. Okay, the Rules Authority. Now they're responsible. So they said then they try to emphasize in detail for check glass, a mirror, all these other stuff in them, tires. But when you come in practice, now the safety of the people actually. But you can't look back on the economic side. Now in the try for talk say, well, because of the country hard, people just try for help for kind side. But again, if you look on the security of the roads, them now because of vehicles, either tire the bus or some man not get even lights or mirror for look at the other side, turn, all those kind of things. So that side then you and also all from that point the way you hold on, say the police they're not for or the one the way that the authority, who are the wardens there, they're not for the look into those things in detail. They actually get for look into those things in detail. The only thing number one I feel say you get for just try for don't try say how they were able to implement this idea of safetyness of vehicles to the drivers them. So the drivers then were able to take this on board. They said we work in concert with the SLRA. That's not for that side day. Not for the other side where you don't get issues them with them for other side. But was because of the communication and the relationship not between them parties they are well, how the passengers then go suffer, because the passengers they are always isolated. They only get something when I think in a, I don't know how they call it, say driver, passenger something concern kind of organization. Say when a volunteer, they were the volunteer. But without get for mention this ever things in a, I think I am the very man I actually mentioned this. See they get there with the volunteer, but they don't get any funds from any side. But the idea is that the passengers they always know they get anything when they were able to give, say this now will they do. Or now this letter we were able to write, or we make a petition. But when you make a petition again, the other side, they think of are they going to listen? So it comes to the area of listening actively. And listening actively comes to for listen and support. When you talk something to me, I listen. I get for able for support you. I show you what you able for do, or what I will do for you. I do them, or what we able for move forward them. But because of that one, the passengers they don't know that right. They see right. Then we able to make a petition, or then go say today we strike. Long no go inside the vehicle. But you can't question again. People then get for move because if they say we can't strike, we say them go get government vehicle. Then go inside. They. So if they strike, that might make a voice. But the environment where there is no listening and support. So because of all that factors, their communication they did between the factors, and for that this they come. But as they don't bring this, then they implement them. What what we go suggest to them, then at the police, let them try look into the area of increasing the vehicles where we transport people in. And let them try and see what thing they will able to do for support some of the drivers there, or the owners of the vehicles. Like when they do ONS are involved in this. They are for disaster management. They are for other things. All right, we're not going to able to say their money are already getting gigi, so they get money. When ONS they give out this money, they just allocate say this trip here, this amount, and it goes to COVID or other factors. But then go give money to say, okay, Luna say we give us this support for Luna say invest on our business. Then when I know say this amount of drivers there, they're not boku inside the city. Then go do for drive the vehicles and the owners they provide. So that will able to turn the people in mind say, oh, you go try, go do business, recommend them to agriculture, you get farm, all those kind of chain work they work. But it will be very difficult for now. But if they are looking at it, then they're going to look at it from that perspective again, because they're going to involve the drivers. The drivers then go one for Canada and for can't fend their living. But then self go fear say there are a lot of police in the street. So that don't reduce the number of policing. But again, on the other hand, then they talk say then get other area on operational duties. But then they say again, would I go monitor? You see, it look contradictory when they say they reduce the number of police when they confirm, say you confirm that from the driver, you say yes. He say, but again, some side they because then they get less people away for monitor now, then think they are police with them bland put. Now for other people and then driver they can take chance. So you see, it look contradicting, but the idea is that it then just get for try increase now the number of policing. The government get for budget, try get the number of police then we have for reach this capacity. We get the number of vehicles there for meet the wire. Then we look into the roads, how we will make people access their road there. We don't begin make road where they come up from. I don't know if in that place they that bypass road they go to that mountain court. Now try finish this road so that we reduce the traffic like. So the government budget then will be able to move for care people and go. So that one, the passenger they will get the effect. When you tight yourself and vehicle, you not even get a better circulation. You help they go. People and they connect vehicle and they up and down. The way that they sit down, them postures, them, all those things, the aging they come. So you get for look at the well-being of the passenger. When they tight, so you see some man the graph, the foot they die because there is no oxygen. Will not be go on that foot. The passenger get for wait there before you get for begin move. All those things, then the thief they on the back because of people that they fetch from inside the vehicle. So provide the vehicles them. If we not provide, then we not try see the number of drivers there. They will lace with the driver union. Check them drivers there. If some of them who pass the number of passengers, they like in the survey, then traffic light there for how much passenger they worker. We not do that kind of survey labor for know how many passengers there will they come up for the day. What is the capacity we're going for make for one row? So we get all those things in place. Then we just they can put one law. they go to the end. This law will affect, but it will get loopholes. So then therefore get people who go they bypass the law because that man they not get no side pass again for can't do this. But it's left to the coordination and looking at how they were able to look into that thing there because they get BRAC. Another charity thing where they help ONS. Then ONS and get a lot of people who they actually bring into things to them. But then left for the look say now we get for also the security of the country, but also what about the safetyness? The safetyness we try for prevent disaster then. So these are the only way we're able to address them. Even if we not get a saying pan them, but we put this together with them because the police they always account to ONS. So that's therefore put their own part. Then the police there, then they try to instruct drivers union that this one a driver, then they do. Then the drivers then now, then they find their own living. Then they only try to get their living. So the message when they interpret them, it was difficult. But how were you able to curtail this? Now for let them left for take money in their hand. Then themselves with the little then getting content with them because some of them are actually doing very well. You just can't tell. But some of them, they are managing based on the type of vehicle they would get because they get to go fix everything in a garage. So all those factors, let them try to put them together. Later, it's going to be a listening and support and then a communication between all them factors there so that the final consumer owner, the passenger, he go able to enjoy. He go able to live a life way long. We just go rush for go say I go afraid say they go take me money or I not go and rush. I go wait the one they come because if I go in that crowd they go take me. So if I ever go somewhere I don't late. All those kind of other things then. So you therefore get a smooth running wherein then we're able to say would they look before for the quality of the vehicles them, would they look for the quality of the roads, then would they look for the qualities of even the drivers. Then get for train drivers and use them and get the right document for drive. And then they get for see to their well-being back. Some of them then get other things they want for do. They ask them all these things here. And then the one they will get the vehicles and say so to driver there, they try to go to them back, check them. What about their income? If their income they lose them, well then try press on them. We'll not try develop on a vehicle. We'll not put it let them start MOT. I'm your side now for take for today. And thank you very much for giving me the platform. And I only hope to say changes and go come. All they pray for changes as long as they are systematic. Thank you very much. Yeah. God bless you.
Thank you very much, Usman. Thank you, sir.
You're most welcome, sir. Yeah.
Yes, Tony, you get the platform. What thing you get for it today?
Yeah, Abraham, thank you very much. Law and order are something where we don't they talk. Everybody say even in parts here where they live in the world, then they forge ahead because of law and order. And if we say for toll that same line there, even though we crisis with economic issue, law and order get for prevailed. And it's not only prevail, but you get for ensure say there's the compliance. We're not to alter police get for the on top people the neck for let them do something. We get for be something, we get for be a culture. You understand? We for then we make you get a civic or whatever department or unit we then get for the educate people there, not to just they on one side. You understand? It's a good thing because you see the rush in the evening. The both contributors, Usman Toli and Osfren, they've said it all. You see the mad rush in the evening. People that they lost their markets, so people that market they damage, people that they further during that process when they try for go side them put there because the put not even team up well because then they run from police or warding. Then they go slowly, people they want knock that jam hours, people then go further and this and so many people have got injured through this that process there. So it's good wherein they make sure say people they make line, even Lumley outside Miami Day, they make line at police station. You go see them at morning by that roundabout by police station, you go make a long line, they put them go calm or them or whatever vehicle, they lot people there. It's good because it makes the process they move fast and everything, make it more effective and efficient. But again, we got to talk to the worthy them. Mind you, they try to empower private sector, make provision because no side, this not to other countries, the way absolutely in a government they provide everything. We in your scenario or situations, we got to give opportunities to the private sector for make themselves thrive, make themselves come in and make their own contribution. People get employed because most of those drivers they're working. It's a job they're doing, apprentice or whoever we did. It's a job. You don't want to kill their business. You see, it's the first administration from the president where they say some put they did all back because the harassment, and everything. And this is now one example where the person they tell me say, hey, a manager, that, police and the harass or rather prefer for the own upline that they only serve return because like now police every 5 minutes or when you turn way they go they make police will break you for give money and when you accumulate all those costs, don't do for buy gas for the whole day way you will use from the car. So there's a lot of challenges within that area. So they need the police as much as the police they try for putting instill law and order. They also have to do their own part, wherein the wording them for. I don't say they're not for harass, you understand? But let it be something where say that's something they deal with safety, we concern safety. You understand? Like for example, smooth tire, white panel they work, headlights not they come on, those ones, so the camera lights on there, but then paints or then tiny ones where say this is something where you not need for but it's like a commercial business. The SSN did all they put osusu because they all get osusu and they put no money. So they make sure say no money they get for all 2, 3 but they want for raise that money where they go because some of that money they in a lost revenue. Not so money where they go for even government direct because now money where they go get it. Not so for say they go pay in a court or this or that. So when you look at all those challenges the way they face the drivers themselves, in as much you get for be a win-win situation, you get for be a two-track approach. The wording themselves get for make sure say waiting in the pull for is something candid or something justifiable where they go justify and say yes that one. But the other part again where if you say government can come in and help for aid this situation where Tolly and also mention about which is very key. They will say, okay, we'll not get better buses. But let me promise you that there are more buses coming on the way. If we have government buses or public transport system well structured in place, the with them as associates here, so a lot buses they go, buses they come. Buses they go, buses they come. Way not so pass taker for full up for make it go. Because you understand, those costs they can make provision for that. There are certain costs government can make we're going for augment denting and they certain side we then go for cut costs and take some of them money then they have subsidies for subsidize some of them buses then they way then go. So people they at the end of the day they go for the congest. You understand? But you don't want to do any way where you go put other private people out of business. But what you go do at peak period, like in the morning and in the evening, waiting some areas and they do. The buses the way they go up, like let's say Bo gets 2 buses now morning or 3 buses the way they go now morning. So what thing they do? The first bus where they go book can go book or second bus. The other one where can second, then they can do town service in the morning. Probably get 2 drivers or get more drivers on the board. Get the driver where they can say, okay, this bus before they go upline, the second one there before they go upline, then they do town service. If now one trip self they do for what I look can free tongue, you understand? They go up for the congest. Or say put 1 hour where they can where they go early in the morning. Before it can go offline by 12 o'clock or by 10 o'clock, let it do trip first in Awatalo, by then 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning, because people they wake very early in the morning in Awatalo for comfort, because if you not wake early, they late because of traffic, because of transportation scarcity, or all those harassment. Those buses early in the morning before they begin the second bus or whatever bus they go apply, let it do town service, go start Waterloo, the other one go start Wellington, the other go start Portsmouth, wherever is not there's a congestion. Help the congest. That's whether not done that they want to clear and for do whichever number we want for put, then the product can still continue the normal time. So it's like a 2-track approach. Government is playing their own parts because in parts with the private they do business, but government they do more. You understand? Same thing in the evening. The bus will come in the morning, we come on Bo or Kenema or come on McKinney come in the morning in order for go again. We don't know what's done and this and that. 5 o'clock in the evening, where not in a peak period where they build up again, then do 1 trip. If not 2 trips, then go at Salo and come. Then go back and come, then come back. You can get the guy away in charge and come back. So they don't take for the congest because right now it's rainy season. And so man, the nature of in business where they do, there's no way they can sit on house where in the campus maximum. And therefore go also because now every day we go work, now they get money, or we go sell, now they get money, you can't cook. So you got to make sure, those are the smaller things we need for the perfect and plan well before they even begin go to the bigger pictures. If you do that, you get that kind of, you just need for plan and well. Then they do morning, sleep in the morning, and then do evening. You find out say, all these fights where they happen. If they see say government bosses, they are there, they pick people in the right spot, so they go left in a bus station, and this and that. Commercial vehicle, then private sector, just go comply. Because they know say, if they not comply, they go lost drivers. That means, sorry, they go lost passengers. So it's a two-track approach. Because if you know the bus now, you're rational. The one where they go market in the morning, before you go on the second bus, I'm not going to say the one where they go first, but the second and third bus or third where we can go. Because many at times, if you can't have Ferry Junction, Ferry Junction, now, Shell Company or Shell, you find out, say, you get bus there when at 12 o'clock, then they go apply. Some can don't go in the morning, some second one they go. So before the second one, and then they go, let them do some town service. It's just the way they can plan it. You understand? That's the main take. You know, that's not your contribution, Abram. Thanks so much for having me, man.
Thank you very much, Tony. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah. On the part of the waiting Tony they suggest so, not of us saying not possible. It is possible. And because remember, them bosses are a brand new one them. They no feel by the poda them where the president they complain say na old one them can come. A brand new one them. So I believe, say, we supposed to be able to use them. But if you don't they go, you go see where you go now the parks them, the bus the way they go in the afternoon, they don't pack there for morning. Then pack them just the wait for make them turn reach so that they go begin for load. So I think that go help. People them way they out there, they strain. People they suffer for transport. I don't know if you know, Dandy. People really, they suffer for transport. Yes, the private sector, then they try. But my dear, because of we not get proper system, the drivers, them, they can't be trusted. The drivers can't be trusted. The lawlessness now, the lack of integrity, they can't. Some of you don't put on per transport business, we go for Poland. Some of you put on, we go for me, 3 police you don't answer. I don't run transport. I be the run after Abbas. I forgot what's the other day. After Abbas. After Abbas, na me. Then Benz 55 motocarem. Imagine, na me and the driver will for take over the motorcar, na me and be they go up and down. For see how the road day with the police and everything. We go up and down, no problem. As Abbas left, now we next day, na bus station, now we next, we go, we come, we go, we come, we go. My dear, after 1 week, I say, you good to go? He say, yes. Hand over motorcar, hand over key. You can't believe, say, where see go? We can go, 6 o'clock, we don't come back na town. He passed 3 days before he can. 3 days. He say, shaft broke, something broke, this happened, that happened. Meanwhile, somebody else na Bo call we say, they see and they run Bo and Kenema. Then na Bo, they run Bo and Kenema. Then, Eli say, the motorcar broke down. So, I don't know what in be then I mind where like me, na me ain't be the go. You could say, you do your normal. But when me sit down at this steering, a different thing ain't get for happen. And exactly that's Adande Hindu. Adande Hindu. We run 1 week, 6 o'clock in the evening. We don't inside return back. The next week, in one game for go with your apprentice. A different story. Now I talked the other day, say, the last taxi, where I get, I just sell her. Nothing was wrong with it. Driver light, and I say, the motorcar he parked in a compound for like 2 years. For like 2 years, the motorcar park. let you see the kind of people we they deal with in Sierra Leone. I'm telling you, the kind of people they deal with in Salone. So because the system self-lacking, I make you go a president of a whole drivers union, where for things is safety of the drivers, safety of the passengers, the safety of the vehicle for be paramount. Now they say no, make them look twist and down small. And even though with all waiting waiting change. Eh? Waiting change from the drivers, from the passengers. Eh? Because the driver union say the want make you safe kind say make you talk to government. For make imagine the drivers union where they in charge of private drivers them where they run, say he want to make government flood the streets them with government buses. He said that's the only time the drivers them way they under in your own control go land sense say I need to do the right thing. But even at that, for the people them alone, I think they needed that. They needed that. And also if we say the open now for Bokuman and the diaspora who don't do car business and salon or transportation business, we all get almost the same story. Eh? We all get almost the same story them. We come with Doctor. We know so now we get him earlier. Yes, Doctor, you get the platform.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Sorry I'm late today, but I just want to say this issue today get too many different facets that we really need to look at. You know, we therefore look at the government in your own side, look at the people in your own side, as the police, the drivers, the drivers union. There's a lot. Everybody gets a role, put them for play, for make sure things then go smoothly. You know, for the government in your own side, I want to say definitely the government need for put, you know, some measures in place where it can to like the system. The system needs to be fixed. Right? If they fix this system, so many of the things that way the police officers then can do at times where it can to stopping the driver, you know, when they're on the road, you know, and then as long as somebody get a sticker, we don't show say they don't do a full inspection of the vehicle, we don't show say the vehicle is safe for driving a street so that it not will go and hurt anybody, and also for their own safety. As long as that is on the in place, you know, it can really help in how we can fix the transportation system in the country. And let the government also understand, you know, putting these measures in place and fixing the system where some of them things therefore be like electronically, you know, they only keep the people safe and the country safe, it also generates income. Think about it, where anybody get for renew their registration, the money where they pay, as well as when they go for inspection. Part of the money when they do the inspection, they go to the state, right? So all that in a way of, you know, for how we improve the economic system in the country. So, but it seems like, you know, they need to look at all them little things there. So even though they're small, but trust me, they're small change there, so now then you they add up for like you do big things like the country, you know, and then funds and it will be used towards the, you know, the road, the highways, you know, and where it can to, you know, safety things that we need for putting in the country. So definitely government therefore try for strengthening that system there and make sure that the police officers them, as long as this driver get all in documents and in paperwork, then the must safe, you know, stopping them on the road is just going to continue to cause more traffic, more congestions that's unnecessary, right? Because they don't stop me now up gone, right? This day, after when the police stopped me, the entire day was a mess one. You know, if you can recall AAA, I met you to Abdul M. Fatoma on that day. My entire day, it was a mess because I don't like what police they stop me for unnecessary things them will not make no sense. If you feel, say, there's a problem with the vehicle, what you need for issue a ticket. A ticket say, okay, you motorcar, you need for either change the headlights or you need for change the trafficator light. You not be the walk, you know, the light don't go out, but you get this amount of time where you need for fix them. right? So, and that time there where you don't fix the motor car, then you send them to the state, and then they verify, say you don't fix them, then they can remove them at the record. But no, you don't go stop the person, and then other motor car, then they come, you don't block that traffic there, then the traffic light line will go so long, and then what do you need for do now? You know, you just create a commotion in the whole system. You know, but definitely the police in your own job now for ensuring that they, improve the flow of traffic so that, the drivers and back will get the zeal for go down, like let's say Eastern Police or PZ. Sometimes I make them stop now Upgun or Klein Town because then they take and say, well, then pass the normal police and snap it, then they do checkpoints. That's really not how any government, police officer for the react, And the other thing, what the government really need to do, they need bosses that will go to run. Okay? Even though it feel like say it congest the country, but think about it this way: if the boss then they come now morning, say then if not every 30 minutes then they run, so you get 8 o'clock, 8:30, 9 o'clock, and so forth. So person way one for going at tongue. Before you take in your own personal car, as long as, say the boss then they run on time, the time when they put them, go there at the bus station, then go, go all the way, who say it take them, then even if they get for join another transportation, but they not say them, if they get an appointment, they're not going to miss the appointment and things like that. Even now, so we get the train system. The train that they can every 10 minutes during rush hour. The train that they can at New York City also every 10 minutes. Same goes for the bus. But like when not to rush hour, the time can change a little bit. But the time that they for everybody for see, sometimes you can even access it online, and then you don't need for to take your own personal vehicle for going at all. Because if you take your personal vehicle, all these they add to the traffic, because you feel say, okay, why take this motor car just now? It just want to stop na Shell company. When it stop na Shell company, then I go for look for another motor car, and then all that halfway there, now just crook. I feel say that's how you crook. Where they go on at the country, where they say, policeman wants your own, the driver back wants your own, and then the person will get in your motor car, forget in your own, right? Some of I really want to say, we want to invest in transportation at Freetown. In general, I've been still say I want a big bus where they travel from Freetown to Upline, go even at Conakry and come back. But you know how many people that stop me don't do that? A whole lot of people, including my own family members, friends, and things like that. Otherwise, growing up, those are things that I envision myself doing. Have a bus company, that would take people, across the nation and also go Guinea and come back, right? So not to salon no more get a problem with the police there, because I know one no more love focus on we, but we neighboring country in Guinea, now other one back, then back that they are filtering a pure, wickedness, right? Guinea man, if they look you, ping, it tell you, say, that ECOWAS passport we get, it's not valid. Okay? Then they tell you, say, it's not valid. Even though it says ECOWAS passport. Because it don't happen to me multiple times. So sometimes, me not hold them, they hold me. Because if they don't hold me, I know I can tell them. So me people say, no, don't talk. You're not a stranger. I say I'm not a stranger. I'm African. Right? I visit here, but I could say something. So that's just to tell you the frustration and the anger sometimes which passengers they can experience, or even the drivers they can experience. You hear the driver they tell you, see, or the one way they do public transportation. Oh, the money where you pay me right now, now the money you get for giving for the load, now you for help me for that guilty, I give to the police officers them and things like that. Why a driver have to feel like that? If you don't choose a profession, say this is my job. You feel like say if you go drive, you pay for everything, okay, you go do your job, and then you get your master money, and you get what you need yourself to get. But if you decide for say you go open a transportation, company or get a car for let somebody drive for you, the problem here with that is you get for find somebody where reliable, somebody where you can trust, because someone that can just go cause for that motor car broke down, or they'll remove parts, then we don't need for removal, as many of them don't outline, and then, you don't ship this motor car, you don't spend so much money, you don't even get you head money per 8. Some of them can even run with, some of the things that you're not going to see them for months, right? And then with that, they discourage so many people them for do transportation na Sierra Leone, right? And then, the other thing, I watched a video talk to the camera where we actually even relate to this same thing. Whether in school, beginning at Joy Junction, they try for going to school, they only get 2 buses in that district day. And so they even talk to the person where they in charge for try to find out, which AAA, now one of the talk to the camera, videos them, the students they say that even when they can come early, there's no bus to take them to school. Some of them, they pass 9 o'clock. So the bus are not enough, whether a government bus or a public transportation. So the government definitely get for ensure say public transportation then they for the student them, for pick the student them up on especially from that 8 to 10 hour before class they start. Because if everybody don't show up, all the students are not doing, don't or the around that neighborhood they don't show up. And then you only have 2 buses to take them. And then, so what happen to the other students, them where not fit inside the bus? So government self get in your roles now for play. So I still say there's a lot to be done in that nation. Like somebody say, we problem na salo it too much. It's too much. You don't even know say you turn your head. But they're not going to say because problem too boku, so I'm not going to do nothing. It just kind of like say if you get a big load of laundry, you just keep adding to the laundry instead of, dividing the laundry and try to take like 25% of it and wash it. But you just say, oh, this is too boku. I'm not going to fold them here, so. Or I'm not going to wash all them in there. So what if you think of what happen? The problem just they become enormous. So you need to do something. You for create some different things and where you go put in place for ensure say you go decrease the problem in the country. And that way with transportation can improve. And people then go probably park their own personal vehicle and go into public transportation because they know say the transportation will take them outside they need for go. Now that's not what me want for say, and I hope say we can really improve with system in the country.
Thank you very much. Doctor, and hashtag, we know say you can't late, but we still need them.
Hashtag no fight for hashtag salon for better. I really think it's salon for better. Yeah.
Thank you very much. No say two people go they come with time.
Go they ask.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, thank you.
No problem. Thank you.
Yeah.